Could you say something else, please? I'll just take out one.
Can you hear me now?
That's better. That's better. Now there's reverb there.
Okay. Okay. We'll have to get you to spank our hands on this one, but we apologize.
Hey, Brother Frank. How you doing? Long time since
the Walking Stalker cruise.
Cozumel. Yes.
Okay, so I've got my partner here doing pretty well.
Good.
I've got Wayne Sells here of Summit Video Productions.
Brother Wayne, how are you, sir?
Okay, perfect.
You said Sun Studio
You said we
Productions?
can't talk.
Summit Video Productions.
Summit Video Productions. What is it?
Yeah, we're both located here in Georgia.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Wayne lives in Beaufort. I live out near the Douglasville area, and we film in Beaufort.
Okay. Where's Gina?
Gina was supposed to join us. I sent her the link. She had some issue with her daughter, but she's supposed to be joining as well if she can. But she said that she hopes we can do this again with you. Yes.
Hopefully so. Yes. Hopefully
absolutely. So I'll go ahead and start because I know I own. Oh, check it out.
Hopefully so.
I told Wayne, I said, I hope Merle didn't get him.
Oh, what did you say?
Merle. Iron knows the scene I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, but we were mad on that one on the roof. But anyway,
you
I love my. You're right. You're right. You didn't write that.
Yeah, man. Interesting on the rooftop.
Yes, it was.
So we're live here with Iron E Singleton, an Atlanta-based actor who thrives on giving back to his community.
He's an American actor. He's best known for portraying Alton in The Blind Side and for starring as Theodore T-Dog Douglas in the AMC series The Walking Dead. Since leaving the cast of The Walking Dead, he's continued to be involved in fan events and conventions, as well as developing his own one-man show, Blindsided by The Walking Dead. Singleton was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. He graduated from the University of Georgia, where he majored in speech communication and theater. He played defensive back for the Georgia Bulldogs for 2 years, then eventually switched to running back. Did I miss anything there, sir?
That was beautiful, Brother Frank. The only thing was the birth date, and I generally don't put that out there because I grew up in a Jehovah's Witness household, and so I don't really share my birth date. We're with Wikipedia. I think they got that birthday, November 30th.
Yes, they did.
I'm a Capricorn.
Okay. Well, we'll say it was January the 1st, 1897. How about that? That was it.
I was 30 for my year, 75.
And you look good for your age.
Thank you. You too, for sure. I mean, I think we were in the same.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We're in the same 80s, 90s group.
We
that can now look at society and say, wow, things have changed.
Yes. We came up in the Freaknik era.
Yeah. You did. I remember that. Oh my goodness, boy, that's a totally different story.
It is. I said that because something came across my Instagram right before this interview started. It was Killer Mike, and he was talking about it. But they have a movie coming out about it, and also because tonight on BET Plus you will see me as mayor. Harvey.
Oh, perfect.
Revolves around an incident. It revolves around Freaknik and some other stuff. It kind of like that. So
Perfect.
that's right.
Perfect. I'll tell you something, Iron. We would like, I fly a drone. Wayne is a very good videographer as well. We like to collaborate with you on some local stuff here at some point. Whenever you have time, if you want to do it, we volunteer our time to help out with the filming or whatever to try to reach some of this youth. This was one of the reasons why we wanted to do this was to try and reach out to the youth. Some of these young men, they really need people like you. You're a lot more out there than we are as far as celebrity status, but. I just feel like I want to give back. At my age, I want to try to give back and do something to someone that's not my own kid. Maybe someone that you would not push yourself to help under normal circumstances. You know what I mean? So, sure. and I know I've done my research on you. I know that's where you align yourself with as well. So we've only got him for 20 minutes. So Wayne, you had a question. I think you had a question for him, and I will bounce a few questions off Iron because I'm going to be respectful of your time. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have another interview starting at 7:30.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think. Can you hear me at all, Frank?
I can hear you. I don't know if Iron can.
I can hear you. Oh yeah.
Mr. Singleton, I don't know if you can hear me at all.
Yes, sir.
Really? Okay, that's amazing because I can't hear. But it's okay. That being the case, being that Frank says that you can't hear me, I do have a question or two I'd like to ask. I have to get him to kind of intercede because of the flaw that we're having right now. Being that we're both involved in, or we're amateur filmmakers and such, just curious about your experiences in the industry, and being involved in it. What is the biggest thing that you learn about being in the film business? I mean, that maybe you didn't know before or didn't expect. Was there anything that kind of stands out as far as to coming into it and becoming the star that you are and so on? And did that change you in the way you approach it, I guess? I know it's a crazy question, but just the idea.
No, that's a good question. I think the first answer that popped into my head was the money. It certainly doesn't pay what you think it would pay. A lot of people think that once you get that big break, then you're automatically rich. But that's not the case in this industry, which is why I'm glad.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad that was my motivation. My motivation was to, like you touched on earlier, Frank, was to have a positive impact in this world, to leave the world better than I found it. So that was my motivation. That was my inspiration. I felt like, God and I kind of collaborated on that. It was a mutual decision. I become an actor. And then when I got into the business, I was like, okay, well, a lot of people get into this thing because they think that they will get rich overnight or whatever. And that's just not the case. So hopefully you're passionate about it into this industry. And
you're right about that. That's a very good question.
Great question. Mm-hmm. It's constant hustle.
Indeed. I wish I could have heard all the answers due to the technology, mics, and so on. Hopefully we can get this worked out later. So I'm doing everything approximately right now.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to hear later on.
I did have one more question I wanted to ask.
Yes, sir.
Help me out, Frank, because I can't hear.
Okay, that's okay. So I was gonna ask, what inspired you to get into acting? We got 10 minutes, guys. Just keeping that.
I think again, I'll go back to just when I feel like I want to get on a metaphysical level. Mm-hmm. When I was born, I just feel like before I came into this world, there was a collaboration between me, my spirit, and God, saying, when you come back to this earth, this is what you're going to do with your life. The vehicle of acting, first it'll start as football, and then it'll transfer over into acting, and it will serve as your vehicle to change the world because the platform will be large enough so that you can do that. That's on a metaphysical level. When I was in high school, I had an interest in kind of performing. So I danced at local high school talent shows. I, at playing football, you're performing out there on the field. I played basketball, baseball. I was on the swim team, so I was an athlete. So I was used to being in front of a crowd, in front of an audience. I loved the joy that I saw in the people's faces when I was performing. And I just loved the excitement of it all. So I just continued with it. And I was like, you know what? I want to be an actor. So that was during high school. And I'll sum it up by saying this. When I was in the 11th grade, my English teacher, she wanted me to speak at an oratorical event. And it was called the I Have a Dream oratorical contest, based on the life of Dr. King, and we were actually, commemorating the life of Dr. King. And I did the oratorical contest, and in it, I won second place at that thing. It was a citywide contest. And in it, I said that my dream is to be an acclaimed actor on the big screen where I can, influence millions of lives. And my teacher said, well, implying that I was from the projects. So I grew up in the inner city in the projects. My teacher said, well, that's a little bit, too much. That's not practical. We need something more practical. So basically she was saying, you're from the projects. That doesn't happen for people like you. And I know she was just kind of looking out for my best interest. She was a great teacher. She, in her mind, that's what she did. But God had already told me different.
Exactly. So you're an example of putting your mind to something, you can do it.
That's it exactly. So I mean, anybody, if you see it, you can achieve it. Just that's the thing. I think that God has given all of us a vision. We all have our vision. We shouldn't let anybody deter us from pursuing our vision.
I agree. I'm going to tell Gina she missed out on this one. We're going to get you again, though. I'm sure we will at some point. Yeah, this is a good one because she has some specific questions for you. I'm surprised you hadn't logged in yet. But another question I have for you is how does someone keep themselves morally grounded when getting into the entertainment industry with all of the turmoil that we're hearing going on around now? Because I know you have. I've done my research on you.
I think the key is if you go in morally grounded, then you should remain morally grounded. But I'll tell you what helps get me grounded. It goes back to when when I lost my mom in '93 from HIV complications, and I think that many know my story is from my book and from my one-man show. And she was addicted to crack, and she was an alcoholic. And when she died, I was 18 years old. So I was searching. I was aimless at that time, and I was basically ready to give up. And I had an epiphany that night on my knees in the room that we shared. God told me that I was here for a bigger purpose. God told me that I'm supposed to give truth and love to everybody I meet, to be kind, respectful to everybody I meet. And I started on that journey. But before that, now I was running the streets. I was selling drugs. I carried a pistol. I lived a life that most would kind of imagine when you're living in the project. But when my mom died, that was 2 weeks before I graduated from high school. I wanted her to see at least one of her sons graduate. It was two of us. My brother, he's 2 years older. He dropped out. And so it was just me. I was like, I wanted to graduate, but she passed on. So I said, I have to make her life mean something by how I live my life. And so it started me on that track of, solidifying my moral foundation. But all through that, God gave me a beautiful woman in Lita, my manager, my wifeager, and she is the one that tone, and we started our family. So once I got immersed into the industry, I was set. I was good to go. People ask me that a lot. It's like, the expression is, if you don't know who you are when you get to Hollywood, Hollywood will tell you who you are. So
that's exactly right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Great answer, man. And I told my wife when we met you all on the Walker Stalker cruise, I saw you all doing a photo shoot with someone. I pointed at your wife. I said, she's running the show. I told my wife, I said, she's keeping him grounded. I can look at her and tell she's going to play.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If it weren't for her, Brother Frank, then there's no telling where I would be. I'd probably be on Skid Row somewhere in LA right about now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that really helps. That really helps. I think like Denzel Washington, he went in with Pauletta, I guess his wife's name is. And I think she's kept him grounded over the years. I think if you got that good wife behind you, it can take you, further places. So
For sure. She certainly
sure.
did.
Wayne, did you have a question to wrap it up? I don't want to take up all the time.
Yeah, I'd like to ask one more question. And Mr. Singleton, I appreciate you, sir. It was a pleasure to meet you. Unfortunately, I cannot hear, so but I can hear Frank. We're actually in the same room, so he's across. I hear him talk.
Yeah.
I was thinking about running over to his mic and, hey, man, that would have been a little weird, so we'll leave it alone. But my question for you is, how was it working with Sandra Bullock? And I imagine that, she's a sweetheart, but, in these days, you never know what you get, man. People present themselves one way, and it can be totally different in the real world. I'm not hating either way, but I, just wanted to know from your perspective, how was that?
I could.
Sorry, Aaron, I was going to say, like anybody's going to say Sandra Bullock was a horrible person. Nobody's going to say that on live stream anyway. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I don't expect it. I really don't. No.
I'm getting the hand right now, and I could talk 10 minutes about that. So,
sure.
And I'm getting the less than 1 minute time frame.
We know.
To sum it up, Sandra Bullock is an incredible human being. She's a wonderful soul, and it was an incredible experience working with her. And
Great.
That's truth, because that's what I represent, truth and love. But I wish we had more time, gentlemen. But this was a pleasure, though. Until Gina, next time.
I will. And how soon? I'll reach out to your associates to see how soon we can schedule another one. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you. God bless. God bless.
Thank you, sir.
God bless.
God
Right.
bless.
God bless.
Take care.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Video Fit Solutions and Summit Video Productions thanks you for joining us. We'd also like to thank Iron E Singleton and Lita Singleton for allowing this interview to happen and taking out of their busy schedule. And don't forget to check out Iron E's acting school at ironesa.com. God bless.